Good morning, and thank you to organize this committee for allowing me to relate today. My presentation comes from a range of research carried out on artificial intelligence in the last few years, some of which were also presented at this conference. It is a consideration of how the influence of AI could change design practice and theory. We know that many artificial intelligence algorithms have been developed in recent years for several purposes, from created images, videos, and text rather than musical motifs. Above all, the speed of improvement of these devices is impressive, and if we assume that any technology is never neutral, it is inevitable to expect some influence on design theories and practice. Most of the artificial intelligence that are becoming commonly used are generative algorithms based on neural networks, which can be used through a prompt in which you type words or simple sentences, describe the image that you want to obtain. Actually, as many of you know, the prompt does not have much in common with the natural language in which we write and speak every day, but it's something of hybrid, somewhere between a language and programming codes. Anyway, it makes easy to create image. Then is, for example, to learn computer languages or even to use software interfaces. This is probably the reason of their diffusion. We have to consider also the quick evolution is taking them from the field of representation to the actual modeling. Here you see a first experimentation of the tools that starting from the script creates three-dimensional models controllable in their dimensional and geometric parameters, making it even more interesting for design purposes. The diffusion and the rise of this kind of tools make it natural to ask the following question. Is AI likely to change the way design is practiced? And if so, if AI induces significant changes in this design practice, are these changes so deep to question the fundamentals of design? I try to answer, but I'm a very starting model. We know that generative artificial intelligence is strictly dependent more than other artificial intelligence tools on the concept of data. In fact, they can be tracing back to machine learning models trained on a wide spectrum of structured or unstructured data with or without description or labels. This data must be managed in some way. We know today that the importance of the choice of data in the training and correct functioning of this tool. In my opinion, the use of data establishes a strong relationship with design disciplines. Then designers always use the heterogeneous data from concept to manufacturing, regardless of the scale of the artifact to be created, and the design process involves the definition of requirements, more or less connected to each other, ranging from the definition of goals to data collection. Here in this slide, we have some example for you. You can see a 4,000 whole solution taken from an Egyptian papyrus to solve a geometric construction problem related to architecture. If it's true that the drawing was the main medium for design, especially in the concept phases, it is also true that several other types of data have always contributed to definition of a project. Look at this. In the slides, again from ancient Egypt, you can see a construction site logbook, the first in the corner, as it was found, where are listed materials, number of hours, number of men that you need for this particular kind of construction. Or even we have a lot of other kinds of data, like accurate models, this is of Sangallo, to understand better the relationship between structure and aesthetic. Or again, we have an example of 19th century survey of temperatures at the House of Commons of London for a macroclimate project. Each of these examples is listed to specific type of data. So I try to summarize the data, this heterogeneous group of data in a diagram, which is not exhaustive, but present the different types of information related to design act, organizing them by phases and kind. Each of these moments requires specific data to describe physical, for example, physical characteristics, lightweight and size, qualitative motivation and perception, or related to functional and economic aspects, market analysis, survey and test with user, test of material, and the creation of more or less functional prototypes. are among the phases that imply the collection of fundamental data for design purpose. The use of this data in design process, therefore, range from description to the understanding and optimization of the project goals. In design history, many researchers and designers have tried to organize this heterogeneous dataset. Starting from the end of the 19th century, I found about 180 different models that try to frame the different design phases in relation to the type of data used. Here we have some examples. Although presenting difference depending on the cultural context and the historical period, the study of these processes allow me to identify different approaches in using data for project and to hypothesize new one. I call it this different level, design from data, design with data, and design for data. Let me to explain a little better. Design from data is the classical or historical one, what you probably use today, in which the designer identifies, selects, and elaborates the data obtained from direct test or research, using that to inform design decisions. In this kind of project, the design process starts with data collection and then with the production and marketing of products and service. We can say it's a sort of jump in design that involves the creation of new products only when the marginal value of a product does justify the cost of redesign. Designing with data is that of contemporary or the near future, or the probably near future, is linked to Internet of Things and big data. It's very close to the concept of digital twins, if you want. We know that today, not only computers, but also home appliances, car environments, and artifacts, and any other artifacts, think only your mobile phone, are connected to the informatic infrastructure, allow designer to maintain a continuous link of information with the product. Data is no longer to be examined a priori, but a resource by which a designer can recognize a problem in real time and decide which solution to adopt and verify their effect in a continuous cycle. In this sense, we can say that design is open and continuous. Digital immateriality promotes design with data, but we have some interesting examples like Tesla that has adopted the new context, replaces as much as possible the physical elements of a car interaction and control, like buttons and levers, with digital touchscreen interfaces. That because you can always update these digital tools with new functions. Furthermore, the passenger compartment and the body of the car are equipped with sensors to collect data related to environmental rather than internal conditions in a continuous transmission with the original company. It is interesting to note how some of these sensors are not used, but installed to anticipate future service that will be enabled after the commercialization. At last, design for data, that we can say that is the one most linked to artificial intelligence and probably the future of design and designers. It occurs when a designer system autonomously produces solutions. I mean, if the relationship with what we design will be continuous, it will be impossible for humans to manage the volume of data coming from this kind of process. It will therefore be necessary to design tools that make some decision for us. The designer activity no longer involves designing an object, service, or environment, but a problem-solving algorithms. This tool will develop and provide specific solution for individual user at the moment that they need that. An example already exists, yes, it's very close to informatics, but probably is spread out and diffusion in other fields of design, is the Netflix interfaces. In this case, some constraints and parameters are specified by human designers in an early stage of the process, but organization, visualization language, and especially the kind of products, comedies, documentaries, TV series, and so on, be shown on the screen are decided by the AI. AI keeps track of the user's previous interaction with the platform and compares them with all the other information available in dedicated databases like web browsing, credit card purchases, and so on, and develop the solution most suitable at the moment for that specific users. It is an autonomous design system which goes beyond design with data. since it does not require any human intervention to redesign or update the operating model. In conclusion, we can say that while design with data is a normal evolution and does not affect the methodological principles of design, but it significantly affects the design process. To the other side, design for data concerning the use of AI could significantly change both the principles and the professional figure of the designers. Therefore, I guess essential to the new paradigm will be the ability to collect, interpret, and normalize data to inform the set of programs and algorithms that simulate learning. The designer, I repeat this concept, no longer design a product, a service, an architecture, and so on, but tools that will solve a series of issues with a certain level of autonomy. Artificial intelligence can help designers to free the design process for the burden of detailed design, allowing him to concentrate on understanding the fundamental problem and pointing the continuous evolution of AI in a meaningful directions. The designer rule will then probably to be formulate the right question to obtain the most appropriate answer to reach the target. So I think I have finished. Thank you very much.